Hey Scrappers, Alice Boll here from Scrapbook Wonderland and the Scrap Happy membership group, and today I am going to create a layout from a kit from the Urban Scrapbook, which is a scrapbook store in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So let's take a peek at what's in the kit and then I'll create a super cute layout. We hope! Yay! Okay, so wish me luck and let's have a look what's in the kit. So first off, we have some paper from Stamperia. Is it Stamperia or Stamperia? Anybody know? Leave me a comment below so that I can learn how to say this company name properly. Okay, but look how beautiful this paper is. It kind of looks like heritage, kind of heirloom paper. This one, it is like, they don't have like names on them, so it's SBB 523 this paper is anyways, but look how pretty it is, like super floral. It's like, you know, tans and creams on the back side. Look at that beautiful like gate on there, and then like there's a whole bunch of like cute little details. So fun paper, very pretty. And then we also have a sheet of this one from Stamperia. I'm gonna keep saying it like different, I think, the whole time. So another sheet. This is kind of fun because it has like the word Rigoletto, which is an opera on there. There's the word concerto, romance, fugue. So it's got like music notes. You got obviously the big violin on it. Yeah, so super fun. And then the back side is kind of a soft gray color and it has all of the music notes on it. And next up is another sheet from this collection, and this one has like, they look like book covers or maybe music, I don't know, different things on it. So kind of a mix mash of the other paper, and then it has like this music note paper but in a darker tone. And then also included in this kit are 4 sheets of cardstock that kind of are in nice matching colors. You've kind of got that soft blue, the maroon color, a brown, and then this perfect, like, I love that shade of blue. Let's see, I can maybe tell you what that is. It's a basil, mysterious teal, and then the brown is pine cone, and these two don't have labels on them. And then something cool that's in the kit, there is a piece of burlap in here. I haven't actually played with burlap in forever, so that's something that's going to be kind of fun. There's also 3 tags in here, 2 black ones and a craft one. Next up are different kinds of fibers and ribbons. There is like this cream, super cute. I know this is gonna end up on there because I just love it already. There is like this, what is that, grosgrain ribbon, in the soft kind of tealy color, and a little bit of fiber in that color, a little bit of navy fiber, and a little bit of that maroon burgundy color but in a ribbon. Then there are some little metal embellishments, which are cool. So there is a little copper. It's a little bit bigger than a penny, but you know, just like this little flat copper piece. There are 3 of these little clips. You can actually like clothespin them open, but they have like round loops on them. Then there is like a little metal swirly piece. And I've got 3 of these little pieces, little clips, and then there's 3 little cute little Grad type jingle bells. Like one of them is like kind of a brassy bronzy color and the other 2 are silver, but you can hear them. See, they actually like jingle, so that's kind of fun. So that's what's in the kit. That's what I'm going to play with. If you're interested in getting one of these kits, you can actually contact the Urban Scrapbook in Edmonton, Alberta, and I will leave some contact information at the end of the video. Okay, so let's get started on the layout. So the photos that I chose to use for this layout are photos from my mom's graduation, and I was really excited that I had found these photos recently in an album that I borrowed so that I could scan the photos. So these are the first ones I'm using from that album, and it was just a really great place to start. And since so many of these papers were quite dark, I decided to go with one of the lighter colored papers as my general background, which was the music note paper. And since I knew I wanted to use the burlap, I thought, okay, I'll use it maybe as a large strip across the paper to kind of create a layer that went behind the photos. And I thought to really play up the benefit of the burlap, I needed those rough edges and the kind of frayed edges actually. So I pulled it apart and kind of trimmed it until it was fairly square, and I've got kind of even little rough edges on the burlap, and that turned out really good. Next up, I used the mysterious teal to create a frame that I could lay over top of the music note paper. But even though I created this frame out of the teal paper, I didn't want that to completely just totally wrap around the whole photo. So I actually layered that burlap piece so that it would layer over top of the frame. And I just felt like that way it took some of the focus off of the frame and it brought you more into the photos in the center of the page. Now with my photos, you actually see that I printed them in some smaller sizes. I think the largest one is about 3.5 by 5, and then there's a couple 2 by 3s, and the class photo I think is maybe a little bit somewhat in between there. And if this layout looks familiar to you, you might have seen my layout called Love You to the Core. And I posted a process video here on YouTube with that layout. And I had created that one during a Scrapbook Live event. And I used a very similar balance of the photos kind of grouped together. So the next part here is a great example of a good idea gone wrong. I decided that I was going to cut out my own letters from scratch, and there's really no problem. It was just 4 letters. I cut out pieces of paper the same size and just kind of cut the letters out of them. But when I finally looked at the page, I'm like, oh my God, these letters are humongous. They are so big. They were overpowering everything. I'm like, no, this is just not going to work. So then I had to start all over again with letters that were a lot more in proportion with what I wanted for this layout. So I started all over again and I made the letters a lot smaller and they looked so much better. And while I totally could have snuck this out of the video, I thought it was going to be a lot more meaningful for me to leave it in so you can see that other people just totally mess up, make mistakes, and things don't exactly turn out the way you intend sometimes, and you just find a new way around the problem. So when the letters were done, they felt just a little bit too pristine, a little bit too clean and pretty. So I laid them out on the table and I lightly sprayed them down with some water, and then I just manipulated them softly with my fingers to kind of just rough them up a little bit, but not too much. I didn't want them like torn and frayed or whatever. I just wanted them to feel lightly loved. And so once they dried, they dried just a little bit crinkly, but not too crinkly. So it's a great way to add texture to some paper just to soften a little bit and then gently play with it. If you don't soften the paper first, it tends to tear when you kind of manipulate it like that. So that's just a super great trick. Now it was time to kind of play with my layers and build the layout out a little bit more. I also wanted to see how the fibers were going to fit in and kind of get an idea of where my journaling was going to go on the page. And because this kit didn't include die cuts or any other kind of embellishments, I wanted something that brought, like, the highlighted the corsage that my mom was wearing. And when I saw these 2 flowers that were on one of the other pattern papers, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to cut those out and include those here on the corner. And later on, you'll see that I actually decide that I want to split them up. So I take half of it and keep it in this lower corner, and then I put half up in the top left corner of the layout because plans change over time. Then to add a little bit of the fiber to the layout, I decided to take the really thin fiber and wrap a couple of the colors around parts of the letters that I had created. So I used the teal on 2 of them and I used the navy on 2 of the letters. And I just wrapped them on different parts of the letters, just by putting a little bit of double stick tape on the back of the letters and then wrapping the fiber around there. That worked really easy, and it just gives you this one more layer of texture. Anytime you can add a little bit of texture and make the page have a little bit of dimension, I really love that. And this was just a great way to add that texture and dimension to the letters that I had made. Now, I wanted to use those tags on the layout in some way. However, I will confess I do not love putting an actual tag on a layout unless it's kind of tucked in behind a photo or something where you pull it out and it has hidden journaling. I don't really love using tags. I just don't prefer the look of them on my own pages. So I got sneaky. I cut a little square off the bottom of the tag. I just made the square the same width as the tag. Then I cut it across diagonally and I made these two little corners that tuck behind the whole cluster of photos behind that soft blue color. And adding that little pop of black to the layout, oh my gosh, it's so good. I think every layout should have a pop of black. It's totally an awesome effect on a page. So if you feel that a layout sometimes is just missing that last little pop, just see if there's a way that you can incorporate a little bit of black onto it. I think it might have been Allison from Allison Day Designs that taught me that. So I'm going to give you all the credit, Allison, because I love that tip about adding a little bit of black. And now that I had all the pieces, it was time to start putting the layout actually together. You'll notice that when I create my layouts, I'm kind of scared of sticking anything down until I have all the pieces and kind of know where everything is going to go. I always leave the adhesive to last and I build the layers. That way I don't have any problem trying to pull things up and lay things out in a different way because I haven't made that final commitment until the very end. So I really like that ribbon, and of course, it had to go onto the page. It's kind of almost like a lace cut type ribbon. And then I had this little piece that I had cut out of the pattern paper, and it looks like a piece of lace, and it has like almost a little bit of ribbon on it that is like in a little bow with a little pearl in the middle. And I just loved this little piece and I wanted to put it on the layout so bad, but I literally could not figure out where this thing was going to go. So you'll see me try it on the side and then I tried on the bottom and then I tried it up in the top and I tried it all over the layout. And I finally did find a place where I decided to stick it, but it was more because I just wanted it on there so bad, and I just couldn't figure out where it was going to go. And then I remembered that I had that little copper kind of penny, little flat plate kind of thing. And I thought, what can I do with that? I need to do something that's a little bit fun with it. So I thought, okay, it's going to go here. I've got like this little gap in the middle of the photos. I like how all of them have different heights and they're kind of sticking out in different ways. And I thought the penny kind of piece fit in perfectly there, but I wanted something on it. So I had this great idea. I tied a little bit of that blue fiber on it, the navy blue fiber, so it kind of had this little loop. And then I actually stamped and embossed the number 76 on it because my mom graduated in 76. So I used some let's see, what Versamark ink, I think, and a little bit of black embossing powder so that I could get the 76 onto that copper piece. And oh my gosh, it turned out so good. But I have to tell you, I did almost burn my finger on it because I could not find my tweezers anywhere. So feel free to learn from my mistake and make sure that you have your tweezers before you're handling tiny metal objects that you heat with a heat tool. So once that's done, I just have a few more little metal embellishments that I need to add to the page. I was really thinking about what I was going to do with those clips, if I was going to have stuff dangling off the page in some way, but I didn't really have anything that I felt that I needed to dangle off of there. And so I decided to just clip those clips into the burlap. Oh, see, the 76, it turned out so cute. Yeah, I decided to clip the clips into the burlap itself through some of that ribbon. I also used those little jingle bell brads where I put those right through some of the burlap and the ribbon. Put those into the background, and then I added a little bit of the burgundy ribbon up in the very top corner of the layout. And somehow I ended up leaving out the blue grosgrain ribbon, but at the end, the page felt complete, so I didn't worry about where it was going to fit. There I am fiddling with that little piece again. Geez, it's got to go somewhere, right? No, I didn't like it there. No, I didn't like it there. Oh my gosh, how crazy. So here's where I tie the burgundy ribbon into a bit of a bow so I can add that into the top corner. I like the look, the way it kind of frames part of the photo up there. And you'll notice that I put the burgundy ribbon in the opposite corner to where the burgundy letters that say grad go. And that's because when you see the burgundy, your eye will pop across the page to kind of take the rest of it in. So your eyes kind of do that. They dart from one bit of burgundy to another bit of burgundy, and that makes it the perfect placing of the embellishments because you're drawing your eye across all of the photos. The one pattern paper also had a little string of pearls, which I actually cut the little string of pearls out and then I popped them up and I've got them underneath the one photo with my dad escorting my mom. Yeah, my dad was her escort, which is super sweet. And I popped them underneath the photo of the two of them. And once I've added the words that say grad, I finally found the place for that little piece of pattern paper that looked like lace. And I was able to adhere everything onto the page and add the little metal embellishments. And finally, I added the journaling and the page was complete. So here is the finished page. And the journaling reads, my mom graduated from Mayerthorpe High School in 1976. My dad was her grad escort. She's still friends with Sharon, Brenda, and Joan, who graduated with her. I love how the page turned out, and I love that I was able to include my mom's graduation in my scrapbook now. If you're in the Edmonton area, be sure to stop in at the Urban Scrapbook to see the supplies that they have in store or pick up one of their monthly kits. They're also happy to place custom orders for you, so you can contact them at urbanscrapbook.ca or give them a call. To get in contact with me, you can find me at scrapbookwonderland.com or with the Scrap Happy membership group at scraphappy.org, and you can find me on Instagram at Alice Boll. Happy scrapping!